A little bit about workforce issues. And I think what we are seeing is that if you look at the country, since the welfare reform came in, people are emphasizing, well, people need to get jobs and they need to be self-sustaining and they don't need all these kind of help on that. But I think the reality that we need to look is, let us look at the economy in a simple language. They call demand and supply. Every economist would just try to hide things in those two words and say, well, the demand for this and the supply for this. But I think if you're looking at people in low income, there's always a correlation that you see between level of education and the level of earning that you can have. The explanation is that if you don't have enough education, the kind of job that you can get will never provide you enough income to sustain a family. So you'll always need some kind of assistance from here and there. But the question is that things are becoming unsustainable. We've seen that as far as assistance, all kind of programs, they change eligibility from one year to the other so that there is less and less people that are trying to apply. So if you look at everything that you look at, whether it's about housing vouchers, food stamps, SSI, all those kind of things, and 10-care, it's becoming very difficult to obtain that. So if you look at the jobs that we look at, you hear people saying that, well, people just don't want to work and they don't need jobs and those kind of things. Well, that's not the case. Look at the local economy and see what has happened in the last few years. We used to have a good manufacturing base that was accessible, even people who rely on public transportation to get to work and come back home. Those have disappeared. So if you look at from the supply side, in the last 7 years only in Nashville, we created 20,000 more jobs in the area of education, healthcare, social assistance. Those all require a college level education. Yes, there are jobs in the community that are created, but those jobs are only available for those who have got skill sets, have got college graduate degrees, but also have got transportation that they can get to work. What happens to the masses of people who are low income? We used to work on manufacturing jobs. Well, we lost about 31% as far as jobs, people who used to work in manufacturing in this area. But that's across the country, wherever you look at, nationwide. Jobs that one time people relied on. Look at Michigan, Ohio. When we hear those kind of stories about auto industries and those kind of things, those are not only confined in Michigan and Ohio, but the suppliers are in these areas who are supporting those kind of industries. It doesn't exist today. So if you look at the supply side, that's what you see. Two things. Globalization is one thing. Industries are moving to other countries, or China is making it much cheaper, so you go to Walmart and you can get it easy and cheap items rather than being produced here where the standard of living is higher. But the other thing is that technology has changed now. Today, some companies, when you're looking for a job, what they ask you, well, you need to file your application online. How many people can have access to computers and can operate Microsoft documents and those kind of things. So if you look at technology and what globalization has done, it has impacted the availability of jobs for those who don't have a whole lot of skill sets. And that's where you find most of low-income people. But there's something that's called profile. If you look at the characteristics of the people who are low-income, seeking jobs, one thing that you notice is that their educational level is not high enough to obtain those jobs. Either they drop it out of high school, they never finish, or these days, sometimes even finishing college is not good enough because the unemployment rate in Tennessee in August is 10.8%, double digit. I remember in 1994 we used to have 4.3%, those kind of things.